Good evening. I am Kamau Kujichagulia, and I welcome you to On the Case with Kamau Kujichagulia, where each week we talk with someone from the Trenton, New Jersey area about what they feel and what they think and what they're looking for in the future. This week we have a tremendous guest, if he can get on, because he's having a bit of trouble logging on right now. We have Daryl Brooks, who is a surprisingly coming from the city of Trenton, New Jersey. Instead of being a Democratic liberal, as most Black people are in Trenton, he's a Republican ultra conservative. He's a Trumper. So we're going to talk with Daryl about some of his politics and some of the other aspects of his life, if he can get on. If not, we'll do what we have to do. But I'm going to be joined by my co-host, who was my son, Michael Harmon. Hello, Michael. How are you? Good to see you. Your sound's off. Your sound is off.
How about it now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was on the phone actually talking to his brother Daryl. He's having trouble getting in. He's got an iPhone, so maybe that's what it is.
Well, older people have problems when it comes to technology. I remember when I was on his show, and I was trying to figure out, well, how do you do this? But you work at it, and hi, Dana. You keep working at it, and you get it sooner or later, I guess. What I mean? So we can expect to see him on a little bit later on, I suppose. But go ahead.
Your temple is saying, "Good evening, Father."
Hey, daughter, how are you?
She doesn't have a brother.
Well, your father is first. You know what I mean? That's good.
What's up, cousin? What's up, sister? Love you guys.
Hey, I keep hearing such horror stories from people. It just seems like the powers that be just don't care, don't respect the little person. And you keep hearing things. I mean, like in schools, you hear of a kid in middle school, a 12-year-old little girl coming to school high as a kite, and getting in and leaving the school, and you hear about the school officials, and it just pisses me off that school officials in not getting in touch with her parents when she's not there. You go to so many of these white schools and you're not there for 10 minutes. They're calling home to find out where the child is. But these kids, and some of these kids in Trenton, some of these schools in Trenton have kids who are out for day after day after day and never call home to the parent. And it just pisses me off because I show such a gross lack of respect and love for our children.
It was like that when I was a long-term substitute back in the day in the Trenton school system. Kids wouldn't be in school for weeks. And I would go knock on their doors to see where they was at. And then they would be in school the next day, though.
Yeah, and parents get a lot of blame for this. But, I drive a school bus, and, the kids get on and they acting funny. And I look at them and I say, do you realize I see your mama every morning and every night? And you stop and you see the mama and you say, ma'am, your son has been acting like a fool. Mamas don't play that.
No.
They do not play that. If they know, they're going to take action.
Yep.
Yes,
sir.
So it bothers me that we're paying people. I mean, it's different if people were doing this, because they felt like it, but we're paying people to do this. We're paying people thousands and tens and 20s and 30s, thousands, $50,000, $100,000 a year to do this simple thing of picking up a phone and saying, your daughter isn't in school yet. It's 10 minutes after 9 and she's not in school. Is there a problem? Something simple. But like you say, you've witnessed where kids are out for weeks. And the school system, I'm not going to say this system, but the school, the principal of a school does not have it set up whereas that child is being looked after.
Exactly. I don't understand it myself, but we got to do better. We're paying teachers, we're paying school administrators enough so they can raise their children and raise their kids and do it the right way. But we're asking the same. It's not getting done.
It's not. In many instances, it isn't getting done. And like I say, this child was high. What happened was she passed out.
What school is this at?
Yeah, I do. I know.
Okay, I got you.
But it's just ugly. He says, unfortunately, there are some mothers or fathers who do not care, and some teachers care more. As a social worker, I have dealt with a lot. Sure, there are. There are mothers and fathers who don't care. There are teachers who do care, but there are also mothers and fathers, most of them, who do care, and simply may not know what's going on in that school. And it's the teacher's job it's not the teacher's job. The teacher's job is to teach. It's the administration's job to notify the parent if their child isn't in school. If their child is doing something that they shouldn't be doing in school. It's their job to reach out to the parent and say, hey, how can we solve this? So, and that's just one area. We have another mother who tomorrow in New Jersey, the court down Mercer County Court tomorrow, the men who killed her granddaughter are going to be sentenced. And from reports, they cold-bloodedly murdered her sweet, lovely granddaughter, and they're going to get like 6 years for that. And you know how much that tears your heart. Number one, you lost your child, and number two, the people who perpetrated that loss are going to be just
slap on the wrist.
Not that I want to see our young men and women incarcerated by this horrible, horrible system that we have, but we've got to make some type of justice. Some type of justice.
We got to do something. Something has to be done about that. But who knows?
I know.
What you know, Pop?
We must change the system of white supremacy and make it into a system of justice. Because as long as there is a system of white supremacy, there can be no justice. And you can't solve any problem as long as that system is in place.
Right.
Because it's the system is rotten to the core. It is the most horrible thing in the known universe. Okay, you can't solve murder. You can't solve bribery. You can't solve theft until you solve the system of white supremacy. So, up until that time, that's what we need to be working on. We need to be exploring and talking about how to change the system of white supremacy and make it into a system of justice, so that then we can then take other steps to do what we have to do in other areas. And I see Daryl Brooks has finally gotten his butt together. But come on here, Dal. Come on.
How you doing? How you doing, brothers? How you doing?
Remind me of me.
What's going on, brother
Daryl?
Daryl?
Your show, and I couldn't do it.
I had to turn on my phone and turn it off again. But I'm back. And how you doing? I am so excited to be on your show. I thank you to Black History Month in honor of Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Fannie Lou Hamer. You know what I mean? So, you know, like Paul Robeson, Ella Baker, Black History Month.
That's right. That's right. It's good. It's good.
Yes.
It's a good thing. And, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I am excited. I was hurting. I was dying. You know, I was thinking of conspiracies. I'm thinking conspiracy. And what I had to do was turn my phone back off and turn it back on, and it popped up. You know, technology is something.
Especially for you older people.
Yeah.
So tell me now, why don't you give people a little bit of your background and a little bit about you?
Okay. Well, I tell a story. I think it's in the book 37 Days, and I was telling your son. I started activism when I was 12 years old, and I was going to the library, North Trenton Library, off of Martin Luther King Boulevard, then Princeton Avenue, and Abione Demiri was the head of the librarian. He said, "Daryl, they're going to close down the Trenton Library, North Ward Library." I had to be like 11, 12 years old. So I said, "No, they can't do that, can they?" So I remember speaking at City Hall at 12, and 12 years old. I was at City Council meeting, and I spoke, and I probably said, "Don't close down the library." We needed to read and write, but they closed it anyway. So I'm from Dolly Homes, 118 Roselle Avenue. It's something special about 118 too. People don't know culture, freedom, poor righteous teachers. And we all lived on the same hallway floor. Well, he stayed on the third. He stayed on the third floor. I stayed on the second. But culture, freedom. Well, poor righteous teachers, and his brother Greg Williams, the judge. So there was a lot of social issues, politics when we were coming up in high school.
Wait a minute. What judge?
Greg Williams, culture, freedom's brother. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a lot of he's a great. He was a lawyer, became a judge for the city. So a lot of us, we all three of us used to talk at nighttime, about activism. What are we going to do? Hip hop, and I remember Greg saying he wanted to be involved in politics, and me activism, and so politics, social issues. So we kind of grew up in that hallway, 118. Roselle, Dolly Homes, and involved, wanting to do something at that age, even in junior high school and high school. So became an activist. Trenton High School, graduated class of 1987. Went on Mercer County College, Black Student Union President, Vice President, Student Government. I tell a story. When I became Black Student Union President, I was still living in Dolly Homes, and there were people. The story is they were people that's coming to say that this Hispanic store was treating Black kids wrong. So I gave these inner city brothers, sisters, I gave them some money to go in the store, and I watched them. I see how the Spanish store treated them. So I wind up shutting down the whole block. This was like 1989 on Southern Street. I had people out there with posters and protesting. The cops shut down Southern Street. It was Southern Martin Luther King Boulevard. And listen, and that's how my activism kind of started. Shutting down a grocery store, bodega, because they wasn't treating Black kids right. We provide the income, and you're going to tell us that we're no good and treat the kids wrong. So I had grandmas out there, grandpa, kids out there holding signs, and that's when I became an activist in the city of Trenton, and labeled political activist, social activist. I grew up Dolly Homes, watching PBS, Martin Luther King, Martin Luther King civil rights movement, watching the Kennedys, and that was always.
You get to be a conservative Republican.
Well, that's a whole story. Listen, you're talking about, but that's a long way. But one of the things that it's like as me as an activist in the '90s, I studied Martin Luther King. I went to Selma. I went to, met with Reverend Bevel, a lot of those civil rights leaders in the '60s. Martin Luther King. I think, I guess around 2005, 2000. No, I ran for Congress, the United States Senate, in 2003 and four, and then in 2006 and eight. So I think it had to do with the Trenton politics. It had a lot to do with, the politics, the black politics in the city of Trenton. As you know, Kamau, because I used to watch you guys. I was watching the Nubian news. You guys are my heroes, you and Paul Teal. And what's the other brother name? I can't think of his name.
Arthur Tolbert.
Arthur Tolbert. I used to watch y'all on Channel 19. I said, look at these brothers here. I want to be just like you guys. And I used to see you speak at Trenton High School, Channel 19, about the school system, how rotten it was then. I tell the story, come out, you was there, that they were keeping books from poor kids in the city. They wouldn't bring out the books. They have them somewhere in the back room, or in somewhere in the back in storage. They wouldn't bring out the books, the newer books for the kids. And things like that, how you guys are protesting and speaking. So I became I had a show on Channel 19. You guys on WTTM. I did WTTM. And I was following the footsteps of some great brothers, from the Nubian News. So I think because of what I went through coming up, and then in the 2000s, 4, 6, and 8, it was the Palmer politics, the Palmer people, the Watsons, all these people. They didn't, how I was treated. Tell me that we don't want you on our side, and and I was like, okay, well, fine. I'll go to the Republicans. And I think in 2008, I helped Obama in the Mercer County when he was running for 2008, when he was running for president. And I also was running for United States Senate myself, came in 3rd place. Got 20,000 votes, came in 3rd place out of 10 candidates. So after that, I was a part of the Occupy movement in the city of Trenton, but I was still was involved with the Tea Party movement too. So the Tea Party movement made a lot of sense to me. Here's these individuals, the lying, the corruption that I've seen in the city of Trenton, the Democratic Party, how they treated me, how they treated poor African American people. Vote for us, and we're going to provide everything you need, and we're going to take care of the cities, and it was all a lie. And, I drank the Obama Kool-Aid, excuse me. And after that, I didn't support Obama, the second election. And so the Tea Party friends, I had met these Tea Party conservative whites. A lot of them were in corporate America. A lot of them were business people. They own their own business in Jersey. A lot of them were political science majors, and all these individuals, and they would have discussions with me at nighttime, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, talking about national issues, international issues, politics, what's going on in the state. And I couldn't find that in Trenton. I'm sorry, I just couldn't find it. I couldn't find some of the brothers, they didn't talk about, they didn't know anything. And I forget all these politicians who were running for city council and mayor, they were terrible. They didn't know anything. And here are these Tea Party people who are corporate America and national politics and generals and all these people. We having great discussions. So my thing was, okay, well, these people, conservatives, became some of my good friends, best friends. And I still had, I still did the 2006 Kamau. I did the Selma to Montgomery March, and Harry Belafonte and all these other great individuals. 2007, I did that gathering of the elders. Harry Belafonte, Reverend Dr. Bernard Lafayette, Al Sampson, all of them, Epps, Alabama. Me and Shuja from the African People School. We drove down to Epps together. I took a flight down to Atlanta. Brother Shuja, God bless him, I love the brother. He was on the car with me, telling me all these different things. So, I was still immersed in African American history, Black culture. But when it came to politics, the kind of Tea Party people and the conservative movement, that was my thing. But and I still did a lot. I mean, 2006, Kamau, I don't know if you remember, we had a march up at Dick's Sporting Goods. Dick's Sporting Goods was selling.
Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, Dick's Sporting Goods was selling ammo to people with license. There were gang members going up to Dick's Sporting Goods all across the state buying ammo. I decided to put together a protest. Me, Kathy McBride. I invited Zachary Chester, but he was kind of nervous and he didn't come. And invited Tony Mack. He was just kind of nervous and, nervous politicians, nervous Black leaders, and so because of me organizing that, Dick's Sporting Goods changed their policy all across the state. They stopped selling ammo to people with license. They changed the policy. Well, if you're gonna buy ammo, you're gonna have to have a gun license. And there were brothers, and gangsters, white, Black, Spanish gangsters going up here and buying ammo with no handgun license. What do you need ammo for when you don't have a gun license? So that changed the policy. And then after that, Dick's Sporting Goods stopped selling guns, shotguns, in New Jersey. But it was myself and also Kathy McBride. But I organized that rally that changed the whole state of New Jersey with Dick's Sporting Goods selling ammo. I hope I saved some lives. And so I've always been on, this thing where, I'm gonna follow in the footsteps of Martin Luther King too, and I was on a roll.
Okay, very good. So now before you came on, we were talking about the system of white supremacy and getting rid of that. What are your views on that system?
There is, so understand this. Yes, there is white supremacy. There's all types of supremacy. But listen, I understand that because of when individuals, and especially in the Black community, when it came to the Bill Clinton crime bill, there were brothers that went to jail, couldn't get out. Even when they get out of jail, they couldn't find jobs to take care of their family because they had records. And a lot of that was to hurt Black men and women, especially Black men, from not getting jobs. And a lot of that came from the Bill Clinton, who was a Democrat, white politician.
Let's not beat up on Clinton too bad. I mean,
okay, I understand what you're saying. So
the system of white supremacy has been beating up on white people, on Black people
for years,
for 500 years. So
definitely.
Let's not just blame it on.
No, I blame it on. Okay,
not that he was any better than any of the other ones.
You're definitely right.
Down just to him.
Yeah, one of the things is that I watched a lot of documentaries, and one of the documentaries I seen was Slavery by Another Name, and how after the Civil War, they locked up in the South. They locked up 700,000 Black people and had them working for businesses because the slaves, the masters, they had no more Black people to have slaves. So they had to lock up 700,000 Black people, men, women, and children, to work the fields, to work, do all types of chain gangs.
What is that?
That was stuff. No, that was the.
No, hold it. The 13th or the 15th Amendment does not abolish slavery.
No.
It only abolishes slavery except for those in prison.
Was in prison. You're right. And they did that after the Civil War, when they locked up 700,000 Black men, women, and children. And it ended right before World War II. So this was happening during World War I in the South. I have family.
What ended? No, that amendment is still in effect today.
No, it's still in effect, but that of locking up Black men and women and children in the South during that time after slavery.
They do it all over the country now.
Yeah, they do it all over the country. Yeah.
What are your views about these Black Republicans like Tim Scott and Byron Donald?
Hey, listen, I love the brothers. You need to be Blacks in the Republican, just like you need to be Blacks in the Democratic Party. You need to be Blacks in the Independent Party and the Libertarian Party. we all don't think that we all one monolithic people. We all don't think the same, and that's good. I remember Kamau when they used to look at you and say, "Look at that black guy. He got the kente cloth on. He got his dreads. Radical. He's such a radical. Look, I don't want to be bothered with him."
You talking about me?
Yeah, I used to say that about you. I don't want to look at. He's such a black guy. He's such black people with shirts and tie suits on. Community. He's such a radical. Look at him. He's different. Now all of us, I don't look good in braids, dreadlocks, but that's how people thought at the time.
And everything you were saying about the school system back then.
The school system happening
Come to
now.
fruition.
How could now in the school system in America, but let's say specifically Trenton, and you talked about it then in the 80s and the 90s come out, where you graduate kids from high school with a third, fourth grade reading and math level. What opportunity are they going to have? How can they be a part of democracy? They can't be a part of democracy. When you the basic types of jobs you get are service workers jobs. Work at Walmart, Amazon, Target. And you're thinking $13, $14 an hour, $15 an hour, 16, 17 is a good job. How can you be a part of democracy when you can't really read and write? And so because you can't read and write, because you're at a certain level of education, it means you're going to be ignorant. You're going to be an ignorant person who don't know, and that's, and so you see what's happening in our city. The leadership that we chose.
Happening in this city for the past 60 years.
Democracy means the rule of the people, but how can the people rule when they are ignorant?
Right. You're very right. You're very
Not
right.
part of the process.
Yeah. So it takes somebody out of the process, and then you have, I want to say this. Then you have the black leaders in the city of Trenton. People like, I can say names, Andrew, Bob, and the rest of them. They go around the inner city kids. Oh, here's something for Christmas. Here's a Christmas gift. Oh, here's some fried chicken, and here's some soups. Something to drink. Tell you, and mother, vote for us. Vote for these Democratic leaders. Poverty pimps.
So what should we do with our vote? I'm thinking for a while that black folk need to back out of voting, cease voting, and listen to the candidates, and then leverage our vote to the candidate that has the best agenda for black folk. What should we do with our vote? Should we vote Republican?
So now listen, vote for the people that are helping the city, whether it's Republican or Democrat. So my thing is this, you like I said, you can't have a democracy in the city of Trenton if the people are ignorant and low educated. And this has been going on for the past, 25, 30 years. And so what do black people really know in the city? Not you or Kamau or me, but what do the average voters really want? Do they know what they want? And that's why I told you, Kamau, that I am so happy about the African American parade. Next should come an African American convention, in the city. What do we want as a people? Do you want better schools, better jobs, and do you think, or a better environment, because because we're seeing what's happening now. Okay, and their people actually think, okay, well, my son graduated from high school, that's so great, but your son is reading your son and daughter, Moesha and Jamal, is graduating, can't read and write, but you're happy he got a high school diploma. And so what are they going to do? Where are they at in democracy? How are they going to think? Well, I'm going to vote for this person because this person is cute. This person looks good. This person hang out with the group I'm with. I grew up with this person. But these people in the city of Trenton, politics for years, have never done anything basically to make changes in their inner cities.
Yeah, but as a black Republican, what should we do with our vote?
Listen, as a black Republican here, what I'm saying is specific in the city of Trenton, that we have to educate our people. Educate, have a conference, and decide what we are going to do. That's what we need, because you can tell people, vote for this and vote for that, don't vote for this, don't vote for that, or just don't vote at all. I mean, and I tell people this. People say, "Well, people died for us to have the right to vote." Martin Luther King and those great ones in the '60s, and even in the city of Trenton, Kathy Graham, Nate Jones, the rest of them, people fought for us to have the right. But are you going to vote for Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub, Pol Pot? No, you don't have to vote at all, but you have the right to vote.
You know, Daryl, you said a little bit earlier that, we should vote for those who have the best agenda for Black people. Are any of the politicians, whether they be Democrat or Republican,
in the city of Trenton,
do they? Well, I don't know whether the city of Trenton or the state of New Jersey or the nation of USA. Do they care anything about Black people at all?
Yes, there are some politicians in the part of the country that care about. No, absolutely no, because they haven't had the power for years.
Are there any Republicans that care?
I don't know any Black Republicans in the city of Trenton that are activists.
I'm not even asking whether they're Black. I said, are there?
There may be some.
There may be, but you don't know.
There may be some. I don't know of any
Democrats. I don't know of any Republicans. No, that's not true. I do know some Democrats that care. I know Kathy McBride cares.
Yeah, Kathy cares. Robin Vaughn cares. There's some, but those are the ones who don't have the certain types of influence and power. And if you look within the city right now, there's a battle. You have
Hi Wilson cares.
Yeah. But listen, you have the poverty pimps, the political gangsters, the LGBT gangsters, and the white liberal neo leftists in the city of Trenton. That's really trying to control things. And it's sad. It's sad because they don't care. The leftists, the white liberal leftists, the ones on Orbit, who keeps taking down my stuff, Orbit page, Trenton, they don't care about poor Black people. They don't care about the inner city, poor Black and brown people. They don't care nothing about them. Do you think Reed Gassiar, who's a liberal leftist, care anything about the inner city kids, poor kids? He brings Andrew. He cares. He brings Andrew.
Why should we vote?
Because a lot of us didn't vote, or because they think that a white liberal Democrat is the thing. He's going to do something. And they entertain the people.
He got his counsel.
Yeah, he got his counsel. I mean, look at city council right now. Be honest, in Mercer County, in Trenton, are there any Black male political people in office? Except Sam Frisbee, he's Mercer County. But other than that, in the city of Trenton, nothing.
The other brother who's the on the county. What's his name? The real estate woman. What's her name, Michael?
I'm talking about males.
Hold up. What's the Farida Stokes? Her husband is on the.
I don't even count Brian Stokes. I don't count him. Right? His name's Deb. Listen. Is in the city of Trenton, is there any Black males
in the city of Trenton
on city council? No.
City government.
State assembly, no. State senate, no. From Trenton, in Trenton, representing Trenton. Congress, no. So I think there has been an attempt to take out certain types of Black males running in the city of Trenton. Look at the candidates we had. Algernon Warren loses to a man that dresses up like a woman. And he can't win. None of them. Divine Allah and the other guy, I can't think of his name. They can't beat a man. The white guy dresses up like a woman. And the city of Trenton and North Ward votes for this? This silliness? This is foolishness. You can't motivate individuals to rise up and make change. Even in the mayor race and the city council race. Come on. There's something.
There's a question out there that asks whether the far right Republicans care about inner city kids.
Yes, they do.
Come
I mean,
again.
there's the far right. Yes, they do, and then there's also individuals in the Democratic Party that do care, but they're not in the position of leadership to do something.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Trump
is-
was in a position of leadership to do something. What did he do for the inner city kids?
What did he do for the inner city kids? Well, you know, a lot of us, you know, when I was
let me rephrase
okay.
that.
What did he do?
Good for the inner city kids.
A lot of families, a lot of black men got jobs, made money. A lot of brothers, they like Trump.
That happens all the time. But like you say, we make $14,000, $15,000, $20,000 an hour, and we think we're doing good.
We think you're doing good, but you got to ask the question: what has the governor of New Jersey, who has a more effect on black people in New Jersey?
That's a valid question, but the question that was asked was
okay. So, but they always people ask that question. But what has the governor? White, he's Democrat, he's a liberal. What has Governor Murphy did for blacks in the inner city?
That's deflecting. That's deflecting.
You know, what is Brian Hughes, county executive of Mercer County, done for black kids, black families in the inner city?
The answer is nothing. Nothing very good.
Nothing very good. So I think that we should. The president deals with national and international issues. So when you ask questions, well, what is Trump doing? You got to ask, well, the governor has more control over the cities than President Trump. Plain and simple as that.
Well, that's
the governor of New Jersey has more direct effect on inner city kids, inner city families than President Trump.
Well,
you can't say everything. You can't.
You can just look at the city of Trenton, and you can look at the citizens of the city of Trenton, and you can tell what the governor has been doing. You know, look. We know. I mean, anybody who is got their eyes open know that the Democrats ain't did nothing for black people in the state of New Jersey for 50, 60 years.
At all.
But the question is, we talking about the Republicans.
I think it's, you know, my people is people that vote, people that love each other, you know, and whether it's black and white, you know, whatever. Those are my people. I love everybody. As a Christian, I got love, but I'm a black man in America. I'm a black man in America. And I love black people. Oh, I love you, man. You're my hero.
Come on,
you're my hero. Hey, you're my hero. So I tell people this, you know, when it came down to President Trump, 17% of African American voters voted for President Trump.
The second time around.
Second time around. So he must have did something good. You know,
black people have been voting for Democrats for a long time, and they ain't never did nothing good.
Yeah. So
just because they vote for Trump don't mean he did something good.
So what's the president?
I'm not going to say whether he did or he didn't. I'm going to ask you, what did he do good?
So what the president say, Trump? What do you got to lose? But you know, I think if what has to happen is that what President Trump did is put money in people's pockets, and
black people.
Yeah, black people too. I made good money during President Trump in office to help my children. And so, like I said, it has more so to do with the governors. The governors. Ask the governor, what did he do during COVID? How much money did he give black businesses? Ask him that. How much money, you know, be honest, he's a Democrat.
Well,
he told the blacks.
We're trying to get the governor on the show so that we can ask him that. But right now we have you on the show.
Yeah, so, you know, but...
So wait a minute. You wrote 2 books.
Yes.
Okay.
37 Days, Disenfranchisement of a Philadelphia Poll Worker, and the new one, Welcome to America.
Welcome to America. I haven't seen that one.
I'll give it to you. It's in the mail.
Okay.
No,
That's good. That's good.
I'm gonna put it in the mail tomorrow.
You said 37 days, something about a poll worker?
Disenfranchisement of a Philadelphia poll worker.
Okay, that's when you were on the
That's a poll worker.
You were on the podium with Giuliani talking about the poll workers?
Yes.
Okay. On national TV.
International TV.
You're a superstar there, right?
International TV. So, I tell the story when I was doing the poll work in Philadelphia, they harassed me so much, the Democrats. Why are you a black man? You're a black man. What are you doing hanging out with President Trump, supporting President Trump? And all these things. They called security on me 3 times. I thought I was in, Macy's trying to steal. That's what they act like that way towards me. And the things that I seen, bringing in bags, not counting the votes properly, because I was a poll worker before. So I tell a story. Corey Lewandowski comes up. He said, Daryl, he shows up. He says, Daryl, did you see anything? I said, yeah, I was pissed off how they harassed me, and I reported their harassment. And I reported some of the things I seen. Sorry. So Corey Lewandowski said, Daryl, this is President Trump's aide. He says, I'm going to meet you, call you in the morning. He calls me in the morning and says, meet me here at this hotel. I meet him near a hotel. They got a black truck picking me up. Nice Russian guy. We go over to the landscaping, 4-season landscaping. I go in the room and I'm on, and then he says, Giuliani's coming. I said, Giuliani's coming. Yeah, we're doing a press conference. And says, okay, wow, this is big. Giuliani comes in the room. He sits down. It was about 4 or 5 of us in the room and talking. Giuliani sits down, takes notes from me. And then all the other people leave. I'm still in the room. I go out and I'm on the phone with Nate Jones Jr. I said, Nate, guess where I'm at? And I told Nate, well, where you at, Dad? I said, I'm here at the press conference. Oh, at that about to happen. And I'm nervous. And I call another buddy of mine, Lou Jasikoff. And, I'm on the phone with Nate and Lou Jasikoff. This is really happening. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's crazy. It's madness about to happen. I look outside, 150 press corps. Then I come back inside. Giuliani and Corey Lewandowski goes in the room. Guess who's on the phone with Corey Lewandowski and Giuliani? It's President Trump. I'm hearing President Trump on the phone talking to Giuliani and Corey Lewandowski. I'm in a room by myself. And so we get out the press conference and, we go outside and press corps is there. And, and I'm saying to myself, please, Giuliani, please don't call me first. Don't say call me first. He calls Daryl Brooks, my good friend Daryl Brooks. And I've been at press conferences before, spoke at different press conferences. And I was like, I told people what I had seen and how I was harassed. And that was it. And all hell, the power broke loose. And the enemies start coming out. James G., the city of Trenton. James G., the first one that called the newspaper on me. The mayor of the city of Trenton. All these individuals. What's the guy?
They wanted to talk about your past, right? Because you had been in prison before, right?
Yeah.
They wanted the news to know to discredit you because you had been in prison before.
Yeah. So it was James G. was the first one. The mayor, of Trenton, and also what was the other?
Gutierrez, or was it Jackson back then?
It was Reed.
Okay.
It was Reed and James G. And you know what? I didn't expect that from. I expect something from the mayor because he's in politics. But the first one the papers mentioned was James G. called.
Well, James G. is in politics now.
Yeah, but I just, me and James G., we know each other. We're cool. We're on the train laughing, talking sometimes. We're going to Washington. But I do understand the handkerchief heads. The Uncle Tom, scared to death Negro leaders like James G.
It's not good to call people out their names there.
That's what he is, handkerchief head.
You call him out his name anyway, huh?
I remember a speaker out of Chicago at his event, and he was talking about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey. Then he was talking about Paul Robeson, how he was stoned in upstate New York. He fought for the people, and the very people he's fighting for are the people that turn against him. And then he says, and then you sit in the church and say, was you there when they crucified my Lord? And he also says there's always some of us sitting on the sideline waiting to do what Masters tells them to do. And that's what you have. Individuals like James G.
But Daryl, aren't you doing what your masters tell you to do?
No, because I had a choice.
Well,
I could have
choices too now.
No. They do it because they want to think that the master will help, will give them credit.
Well,
that's what I did. No.
Don't you do things because the white guys will help you along?
No. There was this one lady, she said to me at an event, she says, Daryl, I believe that Michelle Obama is a man, and we need people.
And you said what to her? And what did you say to her?
I laughed at her and said, I said, I feel sorry, but I can't get involved with that. That's crazy. And there was some other stuff, Michelle Obama, Michelle Obama's a man. Like really? And you expect me to co-sign that? No. And there's other things I've said no to within the Tea Party movement and the conservative movement, Republican. I just don't co-sign anything. And you know me, Kamau. I'm not going to degrade or try to destroy someone just because someone tells me to. No, you have to directly do something to me, say something to me. Just like with Bonnie Watson. I was friends. I loved Bonnie Watson's father. He was my hero. I used to call him up when I was in college. But me and Bonnie Watson had a fallout. Do you have time for the story? Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
I like Bonnie. I like Bonnie's father. But I remember one day he was at Shiloh Baptist Church, and the governor came to Shiloh, and I was outside. And so Bonnie told something to the governor's security guards. And happily, one of the security guards was a guy from Rutgers who I partied with.
Mm-hmm.
But she told him I was some type of political activist, threat, evil person. And I remember going into my pockets at a book bag and pulling out a Snicker bar. The white security for Governor Curzon was going to shoot me. But the brother who knew me said, no, he's good. But it was Bonnie Watson that told him that, I was some type of political or evil guy. I was some type of threat, violent person. And the brother came and told me. He told me what Bonnie said to him. He told me what Bonnie Watson said. After that, no, she's a jackal. I'm sorry. When you try to do something to destroy me, get me shot, I have children, get me hurt because of your ego or because of your, I don't know who you think you are. All these type individuals, they have done something to me personally. I didn't take politics personal. I took politics as politics. When you take it personal, then I have a problem. People trying to run me over, stopping me from getting jobs, all types of stuff, man. And that, I'm sorry.
Well, okay, look, Dow, we can go on, I suppose, but we're gonna have to call it quits right about now, okay? It's been good. It's been good speaking with you. I'm sorry, I kind of got messed up there, but
but understand this. I brought 4 Martin Luther King's aides to Trenton to speak for Martin Luther King Day, hanging out with Harry Belafonte, all these black leaders. Kamau, you was there or came to some of the events.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not an evil guy. I'm not an evil, wicked person. I just love truth. And I want to help people out, whether they're inner city, suburb, black or white or brown. But I can't be afraid.
And real quick, what's your podcast name? Are you still doing it?
On Fire Show? Yes, on Fire Show. Look at the people I've had on. Tom Mesereau, Michael Jackson's lawyer. All types of people. Fred the Hammer Williamson came on my show. Come on. I've had brothers and sisters, black and white, on my show. You got and you have to, you have to be honest and speak the truth. You can't be afraid. You can't be a handkerchief. And this is the problem we have in our cities, right, Kamau? Too many people are afraid to speak out and stand up for the truth. And that's why our people are suffering right now in the inner city of Trenton. They're afraid.
Daryl Brooks not afraid.
No, I haven't been afraid. I love God. I'm not afraid of man. Martin Luther King wasn't afraid, was he? Malcolm wasn't afraid. Marcus Garvey wasn't afraid. Those are my heroes. Paul Robeson wasn't afraid.
Okay, Daryl Brooks.
Sojourner Truth wasn't afraid. You got to be right.
Daryl Brooks.
Kamau wasn't afraid.
Kujichagulia not afraid either.
Kujichagulia wasn't afraid.
Don't tell me. Don't you tell me he ain't afraid. I'll be afraid, but you got to do what you got to do anyway.
Yeah.
Hey.
But remember, as the very people you're fighting for are the people